Let's see the difference between classical and L-Tor biotypes of Vibrio cholerae. So Vibrio cholera O1 is a serogroup of Vibrio cholera. This serogroup O1 has two biotypes, that is classical biotype and L-Tor biotype. Let's see the differences. First difference is on the basis of beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar. It is negative for classical biotype and positive for L-Tor biotype. Second, chick erythrocyte agglutination, negative for classical, positive for L-Tor. So L-Tor biotype is positive for beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar. It produces beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar, and also it's positive for cheek erythrocyte agglutination. And beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar and chick erythrocyte agglutination is negative for classical biotype. Then polymyxin B50 IU, it is susceptible for classical biotype, and L-Tor is resistant for polymyxin B. Classical is susceptible to polymyxin B and L-Tor is resistant. Group 4 phage susceptibility, it is susceptible for classical biotype. L-Tor is resistant to group 4 phage susceptibility. Then L-Tor phage 5 susceptibility. It is susceptible for L-Tor. Okay, group 5 phase 5 L-Tor phase 5 susceptibility will be susceptible for L-Tor and resistant for the classical biotype. Then VP test. Vokes prosecute test, it is positive for L-Tor biotype. Cholera toxin gene, CTX1 gene for classical and CTX2 gene for L-Tor. So L-Tor is positive for three things, that is beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar, chick erythrocyte agglutination, and VP test, that is Vokes Proskauer test. Classical biotype is negative for these three tests, that is negative for beta hemolysis on sheep blood agar, check erythrocyte agglutination, and VP test. Classical is negative for these three. Then polymyxin B and group 4 phage susceptibility. Classical biotype will be susceptible for these two. First for polymyxin B and then for phage group 4 phage susceptibility. Classical biotype is susceptible for polymyxin B and group 4 phage susceptibility. And the L-Tor biotype is resistant. L-Tor biotype is resistant for these two, polymyxin B and group 4 phage susceptibility. L-Tor is susceptible for L-Tor phage 5 susceptibility. Okay? And classical will be resistant to phage 5 susceptibility. The cholera toxin gene is CTX1 for classical biotype and CTX2 for L-Tor biotype. ठीक है, तो L-Tor जो है ये बीटा हीमोलाइसिस करवाता है, उसके बाद फिर चिक एरिथ्रोसाइट एग्लूटिनेशन भी करवाएगा एंड इट इज़ बीपी टेस्ट पॉजिटिव. इट इज़ रेसिस्टेंट टू पॉलीमिक्सिन बी. ग्रुप 4 फेथ ससेप्टेबिलिटी के लिए रेसिस्टेंट है बट ग्रुप 5 के लिए ससेप्टेबल है. ठीक है, और इसका जो जीन होता है दैट इज CTX2 जीन. क्लासिकल बायोटाइप ये बीटा हीमोलाइसिस नहीं करवाएगा शीप ब्लड अगार पे. It is negative for cheek erythrocyte agglutination, also negative for VP test, that is Vokes Proskauer test. Okay, it is susceptible for two things, that is polymyxin B and group 4 phage susceptibility. Resistant for L-Tor phage 5 susceptibility and the gene is CTX1.